You're listening to Gyal and Gyal episode 2. Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of Gyal and Gyal, and in this episode we'll be speaking about pornography. However, before we get into that, let me take a quick second just to remind you guys that this podcast, Gyal and Gyal to be specific, is hosted by me, Crystal, or many of you may know me as K. Chevelle. But I'll be using this as an avenue to dump my thoughts, rants, and randomness. The fuck? Anyways, randomness. I also hope to share some motivational content as well as educational content somewhere in the mix, as well as features with other creatives as I aspire to educate, entertain, and inform. Right? So now that that's out of the way, let's talk about porn. Porn has a lot of different names. Some of us call it blues, some people say porn, some say pornography. Let me know in the comments down below if you refer to porn any other name, by the way. Yeah, so we're talking about porn, and it's something that has been red flagged in many cultures because it's rather taboo to talk about sex openly, right? And according to Collins, pornography is any writing, pictures, or films films and not flims. Hear people? Not flim, but films, right? So, Collins states that pornography is any writing, pictures, or films designed to be sexually exciting. And I like that Collins says designed to be sexually exciting, right? And we're going to get into that a little later. So I've asked a few persons what is their take on porn, and the most common response I've gotten was porn can be healthy. However, porn is also a depiction of a man's fantasy, and maybe 98% of the time it's all scripted. So for a person that is just learning about sex, it can be misleading to them because porn usually depicts certain ideals about sex and how it should be done, how your body should look, how your body should feel in some instances, and how you should sound. And in reality, shit really doesn't go down like that. So in essence, porn is not the best place for one to learn about sex. However, at the same time, it is also the more open place and free place for you to learn and explore your sexuality, right? Now, in my opinion, a lot of persons run to porn to learn about the mysteries of sex because no one wants to teach about sex. Well, when you go to a parent and ask, a parent or parents and ask them about sex or try to make way for the conversation for sex, you're usually shut down and you're usually hit with the wait for marriage response, or try make sure so you not have sex because I'm not raised nothing in my house, right? Or else you need to come out, right? All of them with it. And at school, you're usually told don't have sex or you get pregnant and die, or you ended up with an STD, which is true if you don't practice safe sex, right? So yeah, the conversations around sex, it's very limited unless you hear something from your peers or you watch a TED Talk and they happen to talk about sex, which most young people aren't really interested in doing. So they rather just run towards porn, and that is not what we want. Because in you trying to learn about sex from porn, you'll be introduced to fucked up shit like necrophilia and golden showers and two girls and that damn cup. Shit's like that. It's just not normal, right? I don't know about anyone, but my first introduction to porn was two girls and that one poor cup, right? And it was a very traumatic, and I didn't go search for two girls and a cup. I was at school and my friends, they were watching the video and them tell me, say, oh, come look on this, some me go look, because I don't know how, some I go look. And then I saw the film. And if you don't know what two girls and one cup is, praise Jesus, because you really don't need to know. Just take it from me. To them, I still not eat chocolate ice cream, and I still don't eat soft serve ice cream either. Right? So yeah, you watch porn and you see shit like that. That is not real. It's all made believe. And then you think, oh, so this is what's supposed to happen in sex. And then when you come back to reality, you try to have sex like that, and then you ended up get shamed or slapped because shit no go so in a real life, right? So in essence, sex ed, it's really lacking both in the homes and in schools. Now, Managa say we need parents supposed to tell me say, oh yes, you're supposed to have sex or rotate or backshot at the best position, or you need to get head or make sure say you turn this way or that way, because that would just be traumatizing to the child and not in. Yeah, we just don't need all of the details, but it would be okay to talk to an adult and trusted adult about the topic, and you know, to have an open conversation with your parents. It would be nice, and it would help. A lot of persons would not turn to porn to learn if they could learn about it from their home. But then again, as a friend said to me, it's hard for parents to talk about it because maybe they don't know how to talk about it because nobody gave them the talk when they were growing up. So everything is just trial and error, so they can only tell you what they've been told, which is the same thing. Don't have sex, don't breed, carry no picnic coming at my house, come and I mind nobody, or if you're gonna breed me, kill you, right? Kill you on it, right? Now, a study was done, and it shows that approximately 90% of mainstream pornography has content that shows BDSM, gagging, ATM. I'm not the one where you put money in or you get money from either. I'm talking about ass to mouth. And that is pretty basic. I don't really need to explain it. Right? Ass to mouth. But just in case you don't know, that is where, if you're having sex, heterosexual sex in this scenario, if the male is having sex with the female's rectum, he then takes his penis and directly from the rectum and put it straight into the mouth. So that's it. Okay? And then degradation. Degradation is one of the biggest things that is depicted in mainstream pornography today. A lot of times, females are being called names such as bitch and sluts, and sometimes, in some cases, there's a lot of physical aggression towards females, and it's basically abuse. And approximately 98% of the times, the females are reacting very positively to these abuse, like it's nothing. And that's a message that is being sent, that it's okay to do these things, especially if the person is watching it is learning how to have sex. And if you ask me, that's not one good message for send or for receive either, because that shit's fucked up. Because in essence, you can't lick people, girl, pitney, or they tie them up or they throat them if them don't want to be choked. Right? And it's not a lot of people into that kinky shit. There might be some, but not a lot, right? So you have to ask consent, and yeah. Now, porn is $1 billion industry, and it has been around for decades. And in doing my research, I found that porn today is not what it was in the 70s or 80s, even the 90s, really. It was in the 2000s when the industry changed, so it changed completely. Like, it took a 360 from what it was then, because then porn wasn't freely accessible as it is now on the internet. You would have to buy movies or magazines or stuff like that, or go watch a live show or something like that to get sexual content like that. It wasn't as free willy as it is today, right? So, and also it was a lot more feminine in the way that it was about the romance. It was soft. The storyline was more soft. It wasn't just a man's point of view. Oh, Mr. that nice girl, then a girl have nice ass, she have nice breasts, and never fuck it from behind. No, it was not like that. It definitely was not like that. It was more relaxed, and the storyline was on point. It was more fairy tale based. Well, not really fairy tale, but like more as you'd see it in a Lifetime movie. It was something like that, based on what I have seen in my 2 eyes in doing the research for this podcast. Right? Yeah, now the mainstream version, it's more raunchy and illicit and very testosterone driven, because it's a man's fantasy. And just as any other movie, porn is directed, which means it has a director, it has a crew set, so it has a doctor, a director. Well, in some cases, you're a doctor, because you might never know if you can damage anything or anybody in doing a scene or whatever. So yeah, maybe a doctor would be on call for the crew. Actors, actress, directors, cinematographers, script producers, and the works. So this means that the persons that are having sex in the movie, the actors and actresses, they're having sex sometimes in front of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 persons. Whoa. Right? And then, as I say, it's scripted. So, in watching documentaries, in order for me to have content for this podcast, I've watched 3 documentaries. A series being After Porn Ends, and another one being Hot Girls Wanted. So now, in watching these, I've realized that many of these girls and men, they're just really normal people. Some of them, they were teachers. Them just never done make enough money for cover them bills. Somebody said, oh, you know, you look good, you can do porn. And boom, that was it. Some, they're just college students, just like, let me not say we, because I'm not, but just like how a lot of us know in our generation, we're doing OnlyFans and webcams. That's just to make some extra money, because work not really there. If you do have work, it's some ridiculous things that might have to do to pay a little bit of money. Yeah, it's the same thing. And a lot of them, their rights have been stripped away from them just because of the nature of their work that they're doing, which to me is honestly bullshit, because I don't know why it is that society thinks that once you have a history of sex work in your past, that automatically depicts or predicts how it is that you're going to act in society today, which is absolutely bullshit. We can understand if somebody is like a predator or a molester or a rapist or, well, some illegal thing, right? If I did something illegal, then we can understand, say, yeah, you can't make them be a teacher or something like that, because you can just never trust a person. But really, a sex worker? And not even if a person ended a prostitute, if a person is moving on from that and is trying to make a change or trying to readjust to society, don't bash them, because you just push them back for God do. Why you judge them for anyways? But then that's society. Well, you eat them, judge you. You don't eat them, judge you. You shit them, judge you. You don't shit them, judge. That's just society anyways. So, I'm not even know if I said this, so. But I got to see the interview of Jenna Presley that was done in one of the documentaries, and she's a former porn star. No, she's retired. She's a Christian, and she's steadfast in her faith, according to her and the many persons that has ministered to. She's very steadfast in her faith, and we thank God for that. Now, Jenna says that in her interview, and I'm going to paraphrase everything here about Jenna. No, she says that there were a lot of factors which resulted in her turning to porn. Just that the major one was her needing love, and she craved the feeling of being wanted from her mother. So that was the major reason for her resulting in turning to porn in order to get a living. She said she made mention of the fact that her first recording was done with her being drugged and stuff, and which might make you wonder, some of these movies, porn videos, that especially the ones that are labeled amateur, are these girls being drugged and then raped in order for them to make some big bucks, in order for the person the person sending it in to make some money? Like, mankind wicked, and when I talk mankind, I just man, because no woman wicked too, and a female will use you for sex to get money. Like, I believe that will hurt it. I don't have any facts, but this is just in my opinion. Alright, so don't quote me on that part. But yeah, it makes you wonder, are these girls willingly having sex, or are they being drugged and used because majority of their rights are being stripped away? Yeah, so Jenna says that her life, she didn't feel needed or wanted or valued, because even if she'd get a B+ on her report card while she was still in school, it would be torn up and then thrown in front of her face, and she'd still be teased and called a loser. So when she got introduced to some friends who were heading into the porn directory industry, she thought, maybe I'd feel loved, maybe I'd feel needed, so let me give it a shot. And she says that the life looked really glitterous and glamorous, so she wanted that as well, because who doesn't want glam in their life, right? So she thought that, hey, this would be a mecca for me, so let's give it a shot. However, it wasn't as glamorous as it was predicted to her, pitched to her, so she got out, saved her soul, and now she's a Christian. Right? A lot of the other interviews gave insights to me. What was very surprising is when I discovered that what we see in 10, 20, or even 20, 30 minutes in screen time, I should have known this because I'm a media student, but yeah, what we see in 10, 20, 30 minutes, it's in filming time for them. It takes up to 2 weeks to do it. It's not as short as how we see it. It's a lot of trial, it's a lot of failure, and it's a lot of fake orgasms. So yeah, that is also a reason why it's not so good to learn about sex from porn because it's really all scripted and 90% of it is fake. Fake, like some of these bitches. But yeah, so in wrapping up this episode, the main takeaway is just, as most things in life, too much of one thing is never good, and porn is no exception. And the second takeaway is that sex education is really lacking in our society, and until we fix that in the homes and in the schools, then a lot of persons will continue to use porn as a means and avenues to learn about sex, which is a recipe for disaster. And last but very not least, if you're a person that is involved in sex work, don't let nobody take you for less, because you're not less because of your job. It's a job and it's an honest earned living. So make your money and do it to the best of your damn ability. And enjoy it, live your life, because at the end of the day, you only have one person to answer to, and that's the love you. And if that's how you choose, then that's how it shall be, hey? Alright, now nobody tell you what to do. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I really hope that you do enjoy it. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, which you should have already been subscribed, but hey, it's never too late, huh? So yeah, subscribe and let me get your feedbacks in the comment section down below or on Instagram. You remember to follow us at Gyal and Gyal podcast, or you can follow me at I am K Chevelle. Right, that's it for this episode. Stay safe. Until next time, Godspeed.